I just saw a coal-powered train go by. I wish I got it on video. I'm at the American Toy Train Museum in Strasburg, Pennsylvania. Been in Pennsylvania for like 3 or 4 days. I want to head south. I'm going to be heading towards West Virginia today. Greenbrier State Park. Looks like they got some hiking trails, something I can kayak. And if I'm lucky, I can get a campground reservation there too. It's about a 3-hour drive. It's hot. Let's get a move on. It's always interesting discovering the gas station chains throughout this country. They're all like state by state. In Mass, it's Cumberland Farms is the big one. Here, it's Sheetz. Anyway, we're going to be driving right through Gettysburg. I went there a long time ago. I remember it just being like a big field with lots of monuments. Apparently, there's a Gettysburg Museum that I didn't go to before. I'm going to stop there, check it out. Why not? Looks like I have to park in a metered space, but according to Google Maps, this is the Gettysburg Museum. Check this out. This museum is free to walk around in, and they have a lot more stuff here than just Civil War stuff. They have a room for like World War II stuff. They have a room for JFK. They have, I guess American Pickers came here at one point. They're playing some of the clip. There's tons of cool stuff here, and randomly a 3,000-year-old mummy's head. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up about that. I'm walking away with a sticker. This right here on both sides is all the battlefield. It goes on for miles. Yeah, this is the battlefield right here. I'd love to stick around Gettysburg, but I do want to make some progress today. I've been in Pennsylvania for way too long. I'm heading down to Great Falls on the Potomac River, right on the outskirts of Washington, D.C. I'm just making a beeline there. I can't stand driving around Washington, D.C. It's like 16 lanes of highway. It's always bumper to bumper. It's the middle of the day. It's not rush hour or anything. With any luck, the drive is now over. This is Cardi Rock. Driving in the D.C. area is such a nightmare. I'm not sure I even want to do it again. There is a lot of trails here. It's called Great Falls State Park, I think. Cardi Rock. It's got a lot of names and a lot of trails. There's an overlook over here. I don't know. I just need some exercise. I'm not sure if I parked at the right spot. According to Google Maps, there's a trail that goes down to the river from here, but I'm just not seeing it. There's a big function hall back there, which is kind of cool. Danger, deadly current, slippery rocks. Is this the trail right here? Like, it's so nondescript. I'm not seeing a connector trail yet, but I think there should be one of those too. Someone does maintain this trail a little bit. Someone cut this log right here. But this is just such a nondescript. Oh, wait a sec. Here we go. Here is that connector trail. And there is the beautiful Potomac River. Look at those guys on that side of the river. They're having a blast. I'm gonna head downstream for a bit. I think there's a little waterfall up there called like Rumble Tumble Falls or something. But this trail along the Potomac is pretty cool. You go by some big boulders here. This is just such a majestic river. You know, I've driven through it several times, and maybe just because we're so close to the nation's capital, I want to know who lives in those houses overlooking the river like this. Oh my God, how much does that real estate cost? The trail along the river is awesome. There's also a canal here, the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal, built in the 1830s. Its original intent was to connect the Potomac River with the Ohio River and access Great Lakes cargo that way. It was never fully built, but it did run for, I don't know, 100 years or so. And just like the Erie Canal, it's only like 16 feet wide, only maybe 4 feet deep, and it had no current along the entire length. It was just towed by horses and mules. And I think this is it right up here. I bet it looks a lot like the Erie Canal. Yup. Look at that, long and straight. How cool is that? I'm gonna walk upstream for a while, even though I'm parked a few miles in the other direction. Looks like these guys are afraid of me, not like the Boston common geese. These guys are not giving me a hard time at all. I've only been walking this towpath a few miles and already we're about 80 feet above the water. These things were a miracle of engineering in my opinion. Speaking of which, this summer is the 300th anniversary of the Erie Canal. I want to do another celebration of that, a good deep dive on that thing's history. There is one campground called the Marsden Tract here in this park. I did look it up. Problem is, it's like that Fahrenheit park. You park in one place, and you gotta hike to your tent site. Except here, it's hiking like a whole mile through the woods. I would not do that. I'm thinking of just staying in my car at one of those parking lots. There is, in fact, exactly one person camping here. I respect that. This is actually a very remote campground for a very urbanized part of the country. So I'm trying to get back to that canal. I kind of took a detour through the woods. I'm hoping this path gets me back on the towpath for the canal. It's kind of strange. This map is not on Gaia GPS. Can anyone identify that bird? This ear-piercing, shrill scream? So it's getting late, but I'm going gung-ho. I'm gonna walk a couple miles upstream some more to the Great Falls. And by the time I come back to my van, it's gonna be really late and really dark. I might definitely have to stay here. I actually just tried calling a KOA near Richmond, and you have to make online reservations by 4. That was the same thing at the KOA yesterday too. That drives me crazy. Some wild fruits along the stretch of the Erie Canal. I almost said Erie Canal. Well, I did say Erie Canal. Look at how beautiful this part of the Potomac River is. This right here must have been one of the original locks. Look, they even have part of the big oak doors that acted as the gate. They were only about like 7 feet wide and they let just one thing through at a time. You can kind of see, it's kind of like the Erie Canal ones. Yeah, this whole thing was made out of oak and they covered it in pitch and it kind of sealed itself shut. And look at this. This one is still somewhat closed. Now behind this lock, there's the ruins of an old house. That must have been where the gatekeeper stayed. They had stuff like that in the Erie Canal too. Here we go. I think I finally made it. This is the Great Falls overlook. Oh, look at this. This area of the Potomac is called the Gorge for obvious reasons. There's actually like a dozen big rocky islands out here. I'd love to get out there and explore. I wish I had come here earlier in the day. I should have come straight here. This towpath I'm on goes on for miles and miles and miles. Unfortunately, I'm about like 5 miles from my van right now and the sun sets in an hour, so I gotta turn back. Not sure about the sleeping situation yet, but I'm gonna enjoy a nice walk along the twilight along this little Chesapeake and Ohio canal. Definitely sleeping here tonight. Not at this exact lot though. The guy camping in that Marsden campground, his car must be at that lot closest to it, which is 2 lots down. I bet I can just blend in and it will be just his and my cars tonight. So just as I was pulling in this lot, a cop car pulled out in front of me and he just did a big loop around the lock and then spun right out. So this place does get patrolled. I don't know if that's going to be a problem for me. There is another car here. Like I said, it's probably that hiker. Now, before I stealth up for the night, I'm going to jump on my roof and put my high boost antenna up. I'm currently only getting 2 bars here, so I'm going to see if this does anything. This is my antenna, my cell phone booster by a company called High Boost. And I'm going to see if I get more than 2 bars in the van. But first, I need a shower. I ran through so many cobwebs in those woods. So first I'm gonna turn my fan on. Let's get the air sucking out And then I'm gonna turn my water heater on. I just let this burn for about 5 minutes. I find that's plenty hot. Honestly, I probably don't even need to turn it on at all right now because it's been so hot in here all day. But yeah, let's do the whole 5-minute thing anyway. I got plenty of electricity to burn. That shower, the best thing ever. I feel so good. I was so stinky and covered in cobwebs. Yeah, if you're seeing stuff online, people saying don't put a shower in your van, that's BS. Do it, especially if you're into like hiking in the outdoors and stealth camping in places other than campgrounds, you know what I mean? Anyway, I'm getting 5 bars of reception on my phone in here, which is crazy. After I turned that high boost on, went from 2 to 5. And yeah, that thing actually works. It's called the High Boost 3.0. I'll put a link to it in the description below. I did a video of it. You just have to have the antenna kind of like far apart, the outside and inside one. But it does definitely boost the cell phone signal in here. Anyway, I had a great day at this Great Falls State Park, the Chesapeake and Ohio Canal. Tomorrow I was gonna start moving towards Raleigh, but I don't know. I kind of like the Potomac. I want to stay here another day. We'll see. I'll talk to you guys again in the morning. 4 hours in that dunks right there. That's a new record for me. 2 of that was just uploading the video. I don't mind spending like hours in the morning, you know, doing this stuff. It's part of vacation to me. But I do want to spend another day along this beautiful Potomac. I'm so close to our nation's capital. I haven't been into that city in 21 years. I feel like I should make an attempt to go downtown, walk it a little bit, even though I know driving there is going to be a nightmare. I don't know if I'm going to even find a place to park. I'm going to a place called Haynes Point, where the Potomac and Anacostia rivers meet. See if I can grab something there. I got sick of driving. I parked at a golf course. I should be fine, except that exit for the parking lot I'm in says no vehicles over 8 feet. That kind of sounds weird. They put that the exit, but not the entry. So I'm gonna walk the exit road that takes me all the way back to the main road, see if there's some overhead obstruction. Thankfully, the Washington Monument is like 1 block from where that pedestrian footbridge brings you over to the mainland. The Washington Monument is not as tall as I remember it being last time I came here. It looks about the same height as the one in Beacon Hill in Boston. I'll have to look it up to see which one is taller. I love all the architectural styles in Washington, D.C. because I love stonework. There's the mansard style back there I like a lot, but my favorite here has to be the National Museum. It reminds me of the Corn Palace or the Iowa State Capitol. I'm not going in there though. I am going in the Space Museum, the Smithsonian thing over here. While I still have some time, I would love to see a spaceship. So much for going to any of the Smithsonian or any museum. They all require advanced reservations, and they all stop taking them around like 2 in the afternoon, just like the campgrounds. I did manage to get into here, the Botanical Garden. Either admissions is free or I entered through the wrong door. I don't know, I entered through like a back door. But I'm in a tropical zone right now. Beautiful plants, very moist in here, but I was hoping to see some animals, some little lizards scampering around, like I thought I remembered they did in the Brooklyn Botanical Garden. Not seeing that here. Primeval Garden sounds like a heavy metal album, but this is my favorite room yet. I guess these are some of the oldest plants on Earth, a lot of ferns and liverworts, which date back to the Cambrian era. My favorite exhibit in there was the carnivorous plants. They had very explicit videos of how every insect is killed. Yeah, very nice, free. Not gonna get into any other museum, so I'm gonna do an architectural tour around the huge, triangular shape of Washington, D.C., starting with the Capitol over here and eventually get back towards the van. Does that camera not look like Johnny Five from Short Circuit? The architecture here is amazing, the monuments are great, but the plots of land that connect them all leave a lot to be desired. I find them very unwalkable. There's no straight paths through them, and you have to stop for an 8-lane intersection every minute that you walk. It just makes walking the whole thing very uncomfortable. Not only that, but there are these metal jersey barriers kind of scattered everywhere in this downtown core, just left in a permanent state of semi-setup. It just, I don't know, it's a blight upon the land. They could use some more trees here too. I finally found some shade here at this monument for the Great Depression, my favorite so far. Back at my van, look at that, another transit conversion right over there. But man, now I have to get out on these awful highways around DC. Not sure where I'm going. My plan for tonight is to drive down to Fredericksburg. There's a KOA there. I tried getting through, but you have to make reservations by 4, so I'm gonna do the same thing as last time. Roll in real late and hope they have like a night registration or something. It's about an hour and a half south of here. These highways around DC have to be the most congested I've ever seen of any in the country. They're all 8 lanes wide. They're all bumper to bumper. You have to do so many lane switches. I'm glad I'm out of there. I'm somehow back on I-95, the same road that goes through Boston that I started this whole trip on. But Fredericksburg, I think, should be much more relaxed. I just really hope I can grab a night spot at this KOA. Here we are, KOA Fredericksburg. I'm not sure where the night registration office would even be. This looks all closed down. Night registration around corner. All right. I am in business, site number 48. I'm gonna have a nice campground shower. Walk around this a bit too. This is kind of a nice place. They have a pool and stuff. Might even be able to do my laundry here. Back into here. Oh, I have my own picnic table and fire pit. How nice is that? Cute little spot. This was a great call. This is the KOA in Fredericksburg, Virginia. They do have laundry here, a pool, all sorts of amenities I won't have time to use. I thought I'd do a little walk around, give you guys a tour of this place. These are really cute little huts. If I was still in a rental car, I would consider renting something like that. Over here, they have a pool. I've seen this at like every KOA I've been to. It's usually filled with kids and closed by a certain hour. It looks like it's closed now. So I'm not gonna enjoy that either. You can rent a little golf cart for getting around. And I think there's a pond down there as well. And I get to hear some bagpipes, better than that Lake Denison ice cream truck sound. Laundromat right there. I should probably see how much it costs. Laundry's $3 a load, not bad, but I have to install an app to use that thing. No thank you. And how cute is this? They have a little pond here. It even has a little dock. I could launch Moby Dick on this. It's just literally a little pond, maybe 100 feet by 100 feet. But I'm liking this a lot. What a beautiful spot. I wish I had more time to enjoy it, you know? It's actually already 8:30. So I'm gonna jump in that shower and then jump in the van. Oh man, that felt good. Not just taking a shower without having to use up all my precious water, but not having to stealth up all my windows, pat them all up for the first time in quite a few days. That's lovely. You know, I love KOAs. They're great. They have all the amenities you could possibly want. Problem is, you pay for them, whether you use them or not. This is like $60 a night. For not that much more, I can get a motel. Although I would much prefer not to get a motel, obviously. Speaking of motels, I think tomorrow I want to get to Raleigh, North Carolina. Sorry. Keep shuffling here. I want to experience that city. I want to stay in the urban core. I might just like buckle down and get a hotel. You know, whenever I do road trips, I can't just camp every night. I like to do a city-themed thing. And I'm dying to see the shapes and colors and faces of Raleigh, North Carolina. I should be getting there tomorrow, as long as I don't get sidetracked. But I've got plenty of time to kill. I still have like another week and a half of this vacation, only halfway through it, and I had a blast. Washington, D.C. is pretty cool. The architecture is amazing, but man, they need to make that city more walkable. Get rid of all the traffic, the 8-lane highways that bisect the entire downtown pedestrian era. You know what I mean? And why does it look so decrepit? Like the State House one whole side, not the State House, one whole side of the Capitol was all kind of like run down and crumbling. That was sad to see. Anyway, 2 nights on the Potomac. Thanks for watching this adventure. The road trip continues tomorrow. Until then, peace out.